פרשת השבוע, פרשת אחרי מות קדושים, תשפ"ג. ספר ויקרא was donated לעילוי נשמת צ'רלי סאקה, which his name is ישעיה בן לורה, עליו השלום, רוח השם תנחנו בגן עדן, was donated by his children and grandchildren. This week's parasha was donated by an anonymous. הרפואה שלמה to איריס בת אביגיל, ושברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק יעקב משה אהרון דוד ושלמה, שרה רבקה רחל ולאה. יברך וירפא את איריס בת אביגיל בעבור שאנו לומדים לרפואתה, ישראל חיותה ולרפאותה, נשלח לה מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים לכל איבריה ולכל מות and kedoshim. We will say something about Parashat אחרי מות, something about Parashat Kedoshim, and we'll connect it also to Esfirat HaOmer. In the beginning of the parasha, we read about the death of the children of Aharon. ויהי אחרי מות שני בני אהרון בקרבתם לפני עמוני וימותו. A lot of reasons why the children of Aharon died. We will not mention all of them. We will pick this time one. According to some Mefarshim, what happened there was that they, Mefarshim, paid attention to the word בקרבתם לפני Hashem vayamutu, that they got too close to Borei Olam, and they couldn't handle the Kedusha of Borei Olam, and therefore they died. Such a thing, the Mefarshim brings, we find in the Derashot of the Ran. The Ran, beside what he wrote, Perush on the Gemara, there is also Derashot HaRan. And over there he writes that we find that when Borei Olam came to appear in Har Sinai, the Pasuk says, Hineni ba elecha be'av ha'anan. I'm coming to meet you in a thick, with a screen of a thick cloud. The Ran says that this sentence that was said by Borei Olam is like an apologize, that Borei Olam apologizes to Moshe that he appears and he will see Borei Olam through this screen by a thick cloud. And he said, Borei Olam to Moshe, to you, you don't need a screen, because you are in such a level of a Navi, a highly Navi. But Am Yisrael, they will not be able to handle the Kedusha of Borei Olam. And therefore, I have to appear in such a way. Means to say, too close to Borei Olam without a screen is dangerous to people. They will not be able to handle it. From here, we are learning a rule that a person should learn Torah in a way that he can understand, not something which is above him. We find a lot in the state, a lot of people in the shul, they used to come and they wanted to say, simple people, that they didn't learn yet, not finish them, the Chumash, didn't finish yet the Shisha Sedrei Mishnah, didn't learn yet Gemara. And they come and they say, we want to learn Kabbalah. Learn Kabbalah is above you. So let's learn from the children of Aaron. Let's learn from Borei Olam that he appears with the screen. The screen to Kabbalah is, first of all, Chumash, with all the Mefarshim. Then to learn the Mishnayot, and then to learn the Gemara. After this, you can go into Kabbalah. But before this, Kabbalah will not do anything to you. It will be above you. And as far as my experience with a lot of with people that they started to learn Kabbalah in the beginning, that at the end they left everything and they don't learn today nothing. Parashat Kedoshim, we find in the beginning of the parasha, goes, it's written, all Aseret HaDibrot. The pasuk starts with the psukim. Let's see what the pasuk says in the beginning. Pasuk Gimel. Pasuk Gimel. Ish imo ba'aviv tirau, ve'et shabtotai tishmoru. Already we have kibud av va'em. And then we have Shabbat, and then we have Elohei Masecha Lo Taseh Lachem. And if you will see in the rest of the parasha, we have about almost all Aseret HaDibrot is written. Why Borei Olam repeated Aseret HaDibrot here in the parasha? This question was asked by the Abarbanel. And the Abarbanel says that since at the end of Sefer Vayikra, Borei Olam is going to make a covenant with Am Yisrael, and then he repeats Aseret HaDibrot. You will pay attention, Aseret HaDibrot here are not written in the order that he gave them on Har Sinai. He started with Kibud Av Va'em, and then he jumps to Shabbat, and then he jumps to Avodah Zarah. Why the change? Why all this thing was written in this way? Explains the Abarbanel that here Borei Olam came to teach Am Yisrael something. A lot of mitzvot that are written in Aseret HaDibrot are logical mitzvot. What is more logic than that you have to fear your father and mother? This is something that every child, when he grows, this is what happened in the house. He fears his father and mother. He doesn't respect them yet, but he fears them. And Shabbat, this is something logic, that a person who works, he needs to rest. Not to kill, logic. And other mitzvot as well. Therefore, says the Abarbanel, that Am Yisrael, you have to remember, what you have to keep Aseret HaDibrot is not because these are logical things, logical mitzvot. You have to keep it only because of one reason, because Ani Hashem, because Borei Olam said to fulfill them and to follow them. This is the only reason why we have to keep the mitzvot. And therefore, he started with mitzvah of Kibud Av Va'em, which is a very logical thing. And then he jumps to Shabbat, which is also logic. And then he jumped to Avodah Zarah. After this, he spoke also about giving to the poor, all kinds of donations. Even though that this is also something which is not, you don't have to obligate people to do. People are doing it because of their good heart. The answer is, don't do it because of a good heart. You have to do it because of one thing. Borei Olam said to do it. It's famous what Rabbi Salanter said, that if somebody is knocking on your door in a rainy day and he's standing outside and he's full with water. Water drips from his head and from his clothing, and he knocks and he asks for tzedakah, and you give him tzedakah because you have pity on him. Said Rabbi Israel Salanter, this is not the reason to give tzedakah to him, because you have pity on him. You have to give the tzedakah to him because this is the mitzvah of the Torah. And therefore, the order of the mitzvot which are written in Parashat Kedoshim, Aseret HaDibrot which are written in Parashat Kedoshim, they are written not in the right order, the regular order of Aseret HaDibrot. It's written according to what is more logical to fulfill, and therefore Borei Olam brought them, not fulfill them because of the logic, fulfill them because Borei Olam said. During this period of time, this is a time between Pesach and Shavuot. Between Pesach and Shavuot, Ramban writes, it's like Chol HaMoed, because Shavuot is connected to Pesach. And what bothers here is, we know that on Chol HaMoed, you don't mourn. And here, between Pesach and Shavuot, we are mourning about the student of Rabbi Akiva. As the Gemara says in Masechet Yevamot, 12,000 pair of students Rabbi Akiva had, and all of them died between Pesach and Shavuot. So first of all, why do we mourn in this period of time? Number two, we know the laws of mourning. Chas v'shalom, if a person's father passed away, you mourn 7 days, and then we have 30 days, and then we have a whole year. After a year, you don't mourn anymore. Only on the day that you have you have an arayat, and then you have the day of death. You pray, and that's it. But you don't mourn. And here we are mourning about students of Rabbi Akiva that they died over 2,000 years ago, and still we are mourning on them. This is the question. Why do we mourn on the students of Rabbi Akiva? You have to understand, before we are answering the question, you have to understand that from one hand, we don't understand Borei Olam. Borei Olam, you punish the students of Rabbi Akiva because they didn't respect one the other. And don't respect one the other causes death. And beside this, at that period of time, this was the time of the creation of Torah Sheba'al Peh. Torah Sheba'al Peh at that time was created. Rabbi Akiva, he was one of the creators of Torah Sheba'al Peh. And whatever he said was passed over to the future generations. If one student, let us say, forgot something that Rabbi Akiva taught him, it's a big loss. It's a loss for the whole generations. So if so, how come Borei Olam punished the students and killed them? You should have punished them, that they will be sick, but not to kill them. Because if they are dead, Borei Olam punishes not only the students, he punishes himself. He's shooting his leg himself. Because this way, his Torah will not be spread all over the world. The students of Rabbi Akiva, they passed the Torah that was created. And therefore, you have to understand, how come Borei Olam did it? The answer to this, of course, based on the Mefarshim, is that Borei Olam, when he created the Torah, Torat Hashem Temima Meshivat Nafesh. The Torah is something which is complete, and the Torah also fits and makes a man to be complete. What happened here was that the students of Rabbi Akiva, they died because of Chilul Hashem that they did. And the punishment of Chilul Hashem, if you look in the Chumash, is death. What was the Chilul Hashem? They were learning Torah. And people, and in the Mishnah, Masechet Avot, we find a lot of Mishnayot that it's written, Yehi kvod chavercha chaviv alecha keshelcha. Respect your kavod of your friend as if it is your kavod. Kavod chavercha kemora rabcha. Respect your friend as you respect your rabbi. And respect the rabbi as you respect Borei Olam. Means to say, this is the way of Torah that it has to be learned. And the people around, when they saw the students of Rabbi Akiva, that they behave in such a way that they don't respect one the other, they said to themselves, this is Torah. And the irrespect Torah, the irrespect kavod of the students one to the other, caused other people to leave the Torah, not to respect the Torah. And this was a big Chilul Hashem. Therefore, according to some of the Mefarshim, the punishment of the students of Rabbi Akiva was because of this. This is the explanation of the Ben Ish Chai in his book Ben Yehoyada. We have to understand why Borei Olam, what is with the punishment that Borei Olam punished himself. Borei Olam didn't punish himself. By taking away these students from the world, Borei Olam kept his Torah pure. Because every student, he is like, of Rabbi Akiva at that time, he was like a jar that accepts the Torah to pass it to the future generations. But if the jar has a crack, the jar has a hole, so such a jar you cannot pass over. You cannot sell a jar which has a crack. Nobody will buy such a jar. You cannot pass Torah with a jar that has a crack. On the contrary, people will not buy anymore the stuff that are being sold in such a jar. As I say, you put cucumbers in a jar and you sell them. Pickled cucumbers and you sell them in a jar. Very famous thing. What will be if the jar has a crack? 1,000 jars has a crack. 12,000 jars has a crack. Do you think that the factory will take them out to sell it in stores? They will throw it away. And this is what Borei Olam did. So even though it was a big loss, but nevertheless, the company kept their name. And this is what Borei Olam did. He kept the name of his Torah. And the Torah is Tmima, Meshivat Nafesh. The mourning that we mourn in this period of time, this is not a time of mourning. So how come in Chol HaMoed we don't mourn? Why we mourn? And why we mourn also so many years after the death of the students of Rabbi Akiva? The answer to this is we find in the Gemara, we find a story about Rabbi Akiva, that after Rabbi Eliezer died, Rabbi Akiva used to hit himself till blood came out from himself. But as they used to hit his hands and blood came out from the hand. Ask Tosfot there, how can it be that Rabbi Akiva did such a thing? It was against what's written a pasuk in the Torah, that if somebody passed away, the minhag of Goyim, that they used to scratch themselves, to mourn, scratch themselves, that blood used to come out from their body. But this the Torah said, "Ubibsarchem lo tisretu saratem." So how can it be that Rabbi Akiva went against the pasuk? Explains Tosfot, answers Tosfot, that Rabbi Akiva, what he did, he was not mourning on the person Rabbi Eliezer. He didn't mourn on him. As the pasuk says, if somebody passed away, don't do scratches on your hand, on your body. Rabbi Akiva was mourning on the Torah that was lost with the death of Rabbi Elazar. So we see from Tosfot there is a big difference between a loss of a person and a loss of Torah. A loss of a person, you have the rules. This is written in Shulchan Aruch. You mourn 7 days, 30 days, a year. That's it. But this is only on a person. But here we see a mourning about something else. A mourning of the loss of the Torah. A loss of the Torah has a different Shulchan Aruch. And on this, Rabbi Akiva said, on this, you can mourn, you can hit yourself, even blood will come out. If this is true, so the Mefarshim are asking why Shulchan Aruch didn't bring this halacha also, that if a big person died, so you are allowed also to hit yourself, the blood will come. The answer is, Rabbi Akiva did it on Rabbi Eliezer. Do you think that there is somebody in Olam Hazeh nowadays, or in the time that Maran Bet Yosef wrote the Shulchan Aruch, that reached the degree of Rabbi Eliezer? Therefore, we don't have this halacha in Shulchan Aruch. But we see that the mourn of Torah is different. And also here, mourning on the students of Rabbi Akiva. We don't mourn. The mourning that we do about the death of the students of Rabbi Akiva is not on the 12,000 students that died. The mourning nowadays is, we are mourning about the loss of the Torah that was lost by the death of the students of Rabbi Akiva. We know that Rabbi Akiva, when he used to learn, he used also to make derashot on the letters in Sefer Torah. You have tagim on the head. You have little things above the letters, which is called tagim. And he used to make derashot on this tagim. Why we don't have? Where are they? Why we don't have this derashot about the tagim that Rabbi Akiva did? I saw once that Mrsky, he said that maybe this was gone, this derashot that Rabbi Akiva used to doresh all the tagim of the otiyot of the Torah was gone with the death of the students of Rabbi Akiva. They didn't respect one they didn't respect one the other. As an example, that we find the Gemara didn't bring in Masechet Yevamot what was the behavior, what was a wrong behavior of the students of Rabbi Akiva. But we find such a thing in Masechet Menachot, was brought by Reb Reuven Margaliot. He mentioned it. He said that in the time of Mikdash, they used to bring the Omer, and they used to sacrifice the Omer on Pesach, the day after the night of Pesach, first night of Pesach, and they used to bring the 2 loaves of bread on Shavuot. The Omer used to allow to use the wheat that grew during the winter, and the people will be able to use it in outside Mikdash. Means all the people after Omer, they can use the wheat that grew. Means in order to remove the Isur of Chadash, because this is a new wheat grew, so new harvest. So after the Omer used to allow to use the wheat to be eaten. Shtei halechem that used to bring on Shavuot, they used to allow to use the wheat in Mikdash, and they used to sacrifice loaves of bread and all the menachot. So they use these. They can use the wheat after Shavuot. Before Shavuot, they cannot use in the Mikdash from the new harvest. Was in the Gemara a question, what will be a person, said the Mishnah, a person will bring loaves of bread or a mincha to the Mikdash before Pesach, pasul. If he brings them between Pesach and Shavuot, means to say, after Omer, before sacrificing the 2 loaves in the Mikdash, means to say that this week, one Isur already passed away, was removed. The Isur of after Omer. The Omer allowed to use the wheat all over Israel. Not in Mikdash, but in Mikdash was not allowed to because it's before Shavuot, and he sacrificed before Shavuot. Came one of the rabbis there. His name was Yehuda ben Nehemiah, and he said, "You are allowed to use it, but the avad, it's being allowed." Rabbi Tarfon, at that time, he didn't understand it. He didn't understand what's the difference. Why you are allowed to bring it to the Mikdash after Omer. And Rabbi Yehuda ben Eli, Rabbi Yehuda ben Nehemiah, he allowed it. And he explained it. When he explained it, so says the Gemara, after Rabbi Tarfon didn't understand and he explained it, so he started to laugh. Rabbi Yehuda ben Nehemiah started to laugh. Said Rabbi Akiva to Rabbi Yehuda ben Nehemiah, you laughed because you hit Rabbi Tarfon. You made a little bit fun of the old rabbi of Rabbi Tarfon. And Rabbi Akiva said, I wonder if you will continue living. Says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yehuda ben Ilai. That period of time was between Pesach and Shavuot. I said Rabbi Yehuda ben Ilai, when I came to Shavuot, to the Aliyah Leregel to Yerushalayim, I didn't see Rabbi Yehuda ben Nechemia, and I asked, where is he? And he told me that he passed away. As Rabbi Akiva said, this is an example that we see what's the meaning, Shelo nahagu kavod ze baze. An example, what was the non-kavod that the students of Rabbi Akiva. And then Rabbi Akiva said the pasuk that is written in our parasha. And he said, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, זה כלל גדול בתורה. What does it mean, זה כלל גדול בתורה? ואהבת לרעך כמוך, זה כלל גדול, it's a big rule to keep the Torah, that the Torah will be kept and will be continued from a generation to generation. Could be that after Rabbi Akiva saw what happened to his student, then he came out with this statement, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, זה כלל גדול בתורה. I want to wish everyone בברכת Shabbat Shalom, and Mirza Hashem, we will meet next week. Shabbat Shalom.